to be careful. You have to be careful because many authors, most authors, do not include, for example, the first one, the indicative mood. So that's why you would say the verb is in present. But if you add but there is a modality. That's what I'm trying to say. If the verb doesn't exhibit modality, like explicit modality, it is indicative. We don't usually say is present indicative, right? We don't usually say is past indicative. We just say is present or it is past. All right. So to mark it is optional. That would depend on you. So we have 4 different types of mood, which is indicative when we make statements like I speak English every day. Is present, speak, present, indicative, or just present. The other modality, form is questions, is interrogative. When we make commands, is imperative. And when we indicate possibility, is conditional. All right, so those are the 4 different types of modality that English presents. Questions so far? No question. All right. Here, for example, probably the most interesting one of all of them is the conditional mood. The conditional mood, how do we make conditional moods? Well, we use modal auxiliaries or helping verbs. All right. And this is what I was saying. And this, in fact, this part, like is difficult to explain in the sense of purpose, because here to explain grammar, because they are all modal auxiliaries. All of the ones that you are seeing are modal auxiliaries, but semantically speaking, that's why we cannot just go ahead and separate semantics from grammar. They, even though they are all modals, they have a semantic force. All right, the semantic force, for example, can establishes what? Can establishes ability, possibility, right? Shall, will, may, must. These modal auxiliaries are what? Are infinitive. Infinitive. Or they might be also in the present form. Do not confuse infinitive form with present form. The thing is, like, sometimes they look the same. All right. And then the past form. So the past form of can is could. The past form of shall is should. The past form of will is would, and the past form of may is might. Okay, maybe you didn't know this so far. That's why I'm presenting this chart. And must is always infinitive or present. I will tell you when it's infinitive and when it's present whenever we show the example.
Can you paraphrase that, Professor, please?
What's that?
Professor, one question, please.
Hold on. Victor first. Was that Victor? Victor, I think it was Victor, right?
It was Ruano.
Professor, sorry.
Let me turn off the camera.
Edwin.
Yes, I asked you the question.
Sorry.
You may paraphrase that you said about the infinitives. That they were
easy. But you will see that whenever we start combining themselves. So the base form or the infinitive form is like the dictionary form is when the verb presents no tense.
It's like to go, to play, to have.
Exactly,
Right?
to go, to play. Perfect. They are in, because we mark in English when the verb is alone, we add the particle, not the preposition, the
Mm.
particle to, right? And then we make the infinitive verb. But now you will see that when it appears in the sentence, do not necessarily we have to use to, the particle to have them in infinitive
Okay.
form.
I got it. I got it.
However, we have to be careful because depending on the sentence, on where they are in the verb phrase, in the main verb phrase, they might present tense. If they present tense, they are in the base form. So you could confuse sometimes the base form with the present form. All right. Now, what you will not confuse is the past form because the past form is different. However, I'm pretty sure that many of you didn't know that could is past. That presents that tense. That could present tense. That
Yes,
should.
professor, and that was my question.
Mhm.
Because uh, these words I use them like to express a possibility, you know.
Mhm.
But can you give us an example, like using would in past form?
I will. Chris. I will.
Okay.
And today we will see all that. In fact, that's what you're gonna do the next exercise. For now on, you just accept it. All right, that could, should, would, and might are past. All right, but I will elaborate more on that.
Okay.
Any other question or comment?
Professor, so, at the moment that I'm making some question using, for example, could, most of the time I use this one in order because it sounds like more polite or something like that.
Uh-huh.
But my question is, if it's correct or no, or should I
Oh,
use
it's
can
totally
instead of
correct.
use could in the present?
No, because then you are going. You see, now we are going from semantics to pragmatics. You're
Okay,
moving to
thanks.
pragmatics. Pragmatics is language use. You see how we use it. All
Okay,
right.
thank you.
We will see that in sociolinguistics. All right.
Professor Jose
Uh-huh.
Rodriguez. But
Jose.
yeah, sometimes we say, as the Victor says, so could is for formal question, I would say, and then when we use can, it's like kind of informal.
Pragmatically speaking, could is more formal than can, totally.
And how do we call
But that
that?
is pragmatics.
Okay.
That is pragmatics. Because that is language use. Because who tell you that could is more polite than can? People who use the language.
It
Under
You see?
sounds
English.
like it is
But
more
grammatically
polite. It
speaking, they
sounds
are
like
those exactly. They're, and semantics also, because semantics tell you that purpose, that force. You see?
Right.
And you could say that for example, you can totally say that can is stronger than shall, right? But it also tells you possibility, like I can do it. For example, I'm going to tell you one example. This is pragmatic. If you talk to native speakers, and there is something that we call losing face or gaining face. This is sociolinguistics, okay? This is pragmatics. Losing face mean in English, for example, English is very indirect in the sense of politeness. All right, Spanish is not. That's why we usually, especially beginners, we make the mistake like sit down, please. If you tell a gringo sit down, please, he might feel uncomfortable. You see,
That's it.
because sit down, please sounds like a command. The problem is that we in Spanish we soften things up with por favor, but it's not the por favor that soften the verbs. What is the one that soften the verbs? Siéntese. It's not the same to say siéntate que siéntese. If I say, oh, siéntese, it's polite. You see, siéntese is more polite than siéntate.
But,
Siéntese, por favor.
but in English, how do we make the distinction with the pronoun you for usted and tú? It's the same one.
No, because we will talk about that when we use commands. Because remember, we are in the conditional mood yet, but we will get to the command. But you see, the thing is this is what we call codes. Codes in sociolinguistics means a lot of things. Code could be the language in itself, or the code, because Spanish is a code. Spanish is a code. English is a code. But a variation of Spanish, like Tico Spanish and Panamanian Spanish, is also a code. And this is what we call a dialect. But as I saying, this is sociolinguistics, right? And then you need to know, these are things that you need to know, pragmatically speaking, to speak correct, or not correct, sorry, because it's correct, everything is correct, to speak appropriately. See, like if you don't insult, not insult, it's not that they're insulting you, especially when they know that you are not a native speaker of English. They're like, all right. It's like when I say like we're in Spanish, we're used to usted, right? Oh, usted, and then if we say usted, the conjugation of the verb is different. Oh, usted va a dar la clase hoy, but then it's like, oh, tú vas a dar la clase hoy. You see? So, but that is descriptive. That would be descriptive grammar, not prescriptive grammar. Get it? That's why English speakers say that, they say like, oh, and you're the teacher, it's like, oh, tú me puedes dar tú me puedes explicar. And they're like, what? Tú? No, usted no me llama a mí tú. Usted me dice usted me respeta. Has this happened to you, like with students? Your students, like those are ones that are medio liso, like, hey, Edwin. No, como que Edwin. No. Teacher Edwin. Usted me va a decir a mí, teacher Edwin.
Our students in extension, Sitio Prado, they most of them, they call us to.
But that is interesting, and that is something that you can make research about, Samuel. Always, I remember once. Well, you see, I'm talking about something on sociolinguistics, but I'm gonna finish here. Something that happened to me when back in the day, long back in the day, when I was Tefa in La Normal. There was a student, he was indigenous, and he was not my student, by the way. He was not my student. That was the first time that I actually saw that guy, and he approached to me and said like, dame un dólar. I was like, what? First, I'm a professor. I don't know you. At least say, dame un dólar. Oh, but then I realized that person had language limitations. You see, they had language barrier problems. So he couldn't say, and this again is pragmatics. Disculpe, por favor, profesor, lo que pasa es que ahorita mismo tengo una necesidad muy grande. ¿Usted cree, si no es mucha molestia, de verdad, y con qué pena le pido, ¿me podría prestar un dólar, por favor? He couldn't say that. He didn't have the ability in Spanish to say that. So guess what I did? I didn't get upset. I gave the guy the dollar, because I understood that the guy had Spanish limitation problems, you see? The same thing with an American, for example, they say like, oh, sit down. It's like, what? What was I saying this? Because, for example, if say, Victor, you tell me like, Professor Miguel, can you take me to the terminal, please? And then my answer, if I'm a native speaker of English, is like, I can do that. You see? I can do that, meaning, this pragmatics, meaning I'm still in control. You see? It is still my choice to give it to you or not, the right, I mean. You see? But that is pragmatic. So far, let's focus on could, should, would, and might is past. I will explain later. I will elaborate in a few. Don't flip out yet. All right? Questions or comments?
That has to be totally with tenses, Professor.
Yeah. I will elaborate that on that in a few. In minutes, I will be elaborating on that. I'll see you guys. All right. For now, just take it for granted. Say like, should is past, could is past, would is past, might is past, may is present, will is present, shall is present, can is present, and must always present. All right.
I remember that Professor Ayras gave us that way you have it here right now, Professor.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Then we also have the modals, which are the pure model. These ones, these are closed classes. We cannot make up new models. We cannot create new models. They are closed. That's it. It's a closed category. Then we have the cousins. The cousins of modal auxiliaries, which is what we call the semi-modals. And they function, they behave just like modals, but they are not pure modals. They are the semi-model with this outer used to there. There to happen to, want to, be able to, have to. You see, because if I say, oh, I want to do this, but if I say, hey, I have to do this, you see this, the force is different, but they still are semi-modal. Semi-modal. Something about modals in English. They always occur at the beginning of the main verb constituent. So they always precede the main verb. All right? Always. And then they make the inflection for past or present. And this is the explanation. If I say, I can go, well, I have to introduce the status of the verb, because this is something that we need the main verb status. This is something that we are introducing in this class. What is the status of the verb? If I say, oh, I can go, the verb is in what tense?
Present.
Present. What is the mood?
Interesting.
Indicative.
No.
It's a possibility.
So what is the mood? If it is a possibility, what is the mood?
Conditional.
Conditional.
Conditional, yes.
So we call it present conditional. If I say, I want to do this, it's present conditional, because there is a condition. That modal is conditioning the verb. See? It's not the same to say, I can do it, that I will do it. Is it the same? No. That's why it's conditioning the verb. Indicative, if I say, I do my homework, that is indicative. But if I say, oh, I will do my homework tomorrow, that is conditional. So the status of the verb is present conditional. If I say, oh, you should go, what is the status of the verb?
Well, I would say that it's present conditional. Because
Past conditional.
Past conditional.
Okay.
Because should is, you see, that should is telling you that the tense is in past conditional.
Inflection.
But if I say, oh, I shall do it, then you say, oh, it's present conditional. See? Do you notice what I just did? You discovered the rule. So what approach is this? Inductive. You just discovered the rule. Yeah, I gave you an example. So if I give you, so that is inductive. You see, when I tell you the rule, like you say, like, you take it and learn it this way, it's explicit, is what? Deductive. When I say, like, okay, now guess the rule, is inductive. Just for you to keep in mind, okay, in your approach. Okay, so whenever, and this is a rule that you know, whenever you have a modal auxiliary together with a verb, what is the status of the verb? Is finite or infinite?
Infinite.
Infinite.
Infinite. Why? Because the one that takes the tense is the
main verb.
Modal.
Is the modal auxiliary verb. Because if I say, oh, I should practice more, you see, practice, which is the verb, is infinitive. And then the auxiliary verb is, it has the tense, carries the tense. That's why, Edwin, That's why you see in that case, you cannot say, "Oh, I can't to go."
Never.
You see, but you see, even though if I say go and I can go, go is infinitive. You see, but if I say I go home on weekends, is infinitive or is finite?
Read the sentence, please.
If I go home on weekends, is infinite or is finite? I'm talking about the verb go.
I mean, still infinite.
No, it's finite because
It's
it carries
finite
tense.
because of the Saturday.
Yeah, because you're giving a day.
No, because I say I go home on weekends. You say, oh, that is present.
Yeah, it's covering the tense of the
The
sentence.
go has, but then if I say, for example, I will go. I will go home this weekend. That go is infinite or finite? Infinite, because now the tense is not in the verb. The tense is in the modal auxiliary. In the modal auxiliary. Very good.
Repeat the example, Prof.
So, in short, Professor, every time we find a modal auxiliary, the verb is going to be
in the modal auxiliary.
And where there is
in
no
the modal auxiliary, and then the verb becomes infinite. This is different from Spanish, because Spanish usually they do carry the you because no, the same in Spanish. Say yo debería ir. Think about it. You don't say yo debería iré. You don't say yo debería fui. You say yo debería ir. Ir is infinite. That's why I was telling you that this thing that I'm doing right now is exactly what you have to do in your presentation. Okay? You see how am I comparing Spanish and English? So if I say, for example, I go home on weekends, go has tense. You say, what is the tense of this verb? You say present. But if I say I should go home on weekends, go has no tense. The tense is in the modal auxiliary. All right? Questions? Comments? All right. Now, conditional, mood, and possibility. So, as we were explaining, these conditionals, this modality is related to notions of certainty, obligation, desire, necessity, promise, permission, and even threat, right? I'm taking this from the book, by the way. This is not mine. This is from the book, all right? The verb following a modal auxiliary is always non-finite or infinite or in the base form, all right? English only has past and present tense forms, okay? Now, this is the interesting part. So how do we indicate future in English? Guess how we indicate future in English? We indicate future. No, not in the aspect.
Actually, we don't have future according in English language. We say future as a common language.
No. We have notion relation to future like a notion of future, because obviously if I say, hey, I will go to La Colorada tonight, for example, you say you understand immediately in your head that is future, right? But grammatically speaking, Edwin,
that's pragmatic, Professor.
Grammatically speaking, there is no future tense like in Spanish. Like yo iré a La Colorada esta noche. You say, oh, the tense is. So that's why when Samuel says we have to make a difference between future time and future tense. Okay, there is no future tense, but there is future time. Yes. This is according to theoretical grammar. This theoretical grammar. Now that if I understand the question, and you say like, hey, yeah, but in my grammar books we have future time. You see, but that is pedagogical grammar. They use it. You see, it's the same thing that Morenberg is doing. The mnemotechnic device, not to confuse, because that is pedagogical grammar. Now, I don't want to confuse the two terms. We have future time, but we don't have future tense. Get it?
Repeat that, please, Professor.
Tense only two. Tense only two. Past and present. But you could say future time if you want to. Now, Alcibiades, from now on, whenever you engage in a conversation with a colleague of yours, like, no, I'm sorry, but there is no future tense. You can close your eyes and say it proudly. You see, like, there is no future tense, and do whatever you want, go whatever you want. There is no future tense in English.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Say it loudly. Say it proudly. All right. So how do we indicate future time? How do we make reference to future in English? Using modal auxiliary verbs. You see? Because if I say, I will go, what is the status of that tense? I will go to La Colorada tonight. I will go. What is the tense?
No.
The status, sorry, the status of the verb. The status is a combination of modality and tense.
Is infinite.
No.
That's a condition.
But how do you say it? It is what? First the
present.
tense. What is the tense? I will go. I will go.
Conditional.
It is present conditional. It is present conditional. You don't say that the status of the verb is in future. No. Bam. Error. You say that sentence is in present conditional. That will gives, you see, the notion of futurity. You see, in your head, you immediately know, oh, it's future.
I remember, Professor, that in integrated skills, we check that will is the present conditional, and then would is the past conditional. So that's why I'm like a little bit related with that.
No. When you talk about, listen, when you talk about present conditional and past conditional, you're talking about the status of the verb, which is a combination of tense, modality, and aspect. We will get to aspect in a few. All right. The status of the verbs is composed of three things. But this is later on. So question so far? Now, be careful, because we don't make reference to future in English only with modal auxiliaries. How else can we make reference to future in English?
Adverb of time, Professor.
Adverbs. Perfect. Adverbs. Adverbs will tell you, like, next Monday. Oh, next Monday is future. So adverbs, remember the definition of adverbs? Adverbs guide you. They tell you when. So the adverb of time will tell you if it is future. Or say last week, last Monday. Oh, last Monday is past.
Time expressions.
Professor, if I say, for example, I'm having a meeting tomorrow, so how does that sentence behave?
That tomorrow is an adverb.
All right.
You see?
I got it.
Now, how else do we express future in English? Adverbs.
What about going to?
Going to?
Going to would be a semi-modal, right? Going to will be a semi-modal. They function as a modal, but yes. What else? So modals, semi-modals, adverbs, simple present. You say the bus leaves at 4, right? It is simple present. But 4 gives you the notion of futurity in your head. How else? Present progressive or past progressive. You say, oh, I'm 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 doing it later. You see, I'm doing it later. Still, but you see, but there is no a future tense per se, like in Spanish, like, oh, yo iré. Yo iré.
Professor,
Imagine. Uh-huh.
excuse me, one question. So native speakers don't see like the future the way we do, like
What do you mean?
Spanish.
Oh, no, yeah, like in Spanish, you mean?
Uh-huh.
No, Spanish does make inflection to the future. Inflection is that change. You took morphology with Professor Naila, didn't you? So you know what inflection is, right?
Yes.
Spanish makes inflection to future. We say iré, dormiré, saldré. The verb has the future tense in it, but there's nothing similar to it in English. If you notice, there is inflection for past, like work, worked. But what is the inflection for future? No inflection. You need to help yourself with modal auxiliaries, with semi-modals, with adverbs, with the status of the verb, like present perfect, or I'm sorry, present perfect, present progressive, or simple present. You see, this is how we mark in future in English. So there's no future in English. Can I say that?
There's no future tense.
Future tense.
No
There
future
is
tense.
no future tense, but there is future
Exactly.
time.
Time, yeah.
But you see, we have a semantic problem there. It's like, because I say there is no future in English. Like, okay, bye. I'm gonna study something else. But I'm not gonna have future in this career, right? and the ironic part is that there is more future in English than in Spanish. That's why we have 3-4 jobs, and the poor Spanish teacher, they only have one. If you have family, or no offense, okay? I didn't mean to offend anyone. But those are, should I say, I'm recording this, but this is a joke, okay, for humoristic purposes. But I always tell our Spanish neighbors, we have the Spanish school next door, right? In the English school. So we are the rich neighbors. You see, the English school is like big, huge, strong, intelligent students. The poor Spanish school, they have few students, right? So there is more future in English, but ironically, there is future in Spanish. You see a semantic irony there? Okay, I didn't say that, by the way. Even though it's recorded, never repeat that again. I will deny it.
Never mind.
Now we go to the other part of the status of the verb, which is aspect. Very easy. Okay, so aspect indicates if the action is completed or is not completed. That is continuing. Okay, and there are 2 forms of aspect in English: perfect and progressive. That's it. All right. If it is perfect, have you ever thought about it? Why is it perfect? Present perfect is not so perfect. Well, probably it's because the action is completed. That's why it is perfect, because you completed the action. The action is completed. How do we mark? Look at this. This is the present aspect, the perfect aspect. Okay. How do we show the present, the perfect aspect? We use the auxiliary have. This is an auxiliary verb. I would like to make the differentiation between modal auxiliaries and auxiliary verbs. All right, these are pure auxiliary verbs. How many auxiliary verbs do we have in English?
Only 2, I think.
No, 2. No.
But to be on which
We
one?
have be.
Be is an auxiliary verb.
Be, we have do,
and do. Do is the other one.
We have
Be, do, and have. Be, do, and have are pure auxiliary verbs. There are no semi-modals. They are auxiliary verbs.
So 3.
You could say that they're modal verbs, but In fact, they are modal verbs, but we will distinguish them from the others. Say like, okay, these are JJ, these are the special ones. Do, have, and be. Okay? Plus the past participle form of the verb. Okay? The past participle form of the verb is that one that we memorized. Remember? What is the past participle form of show? Shown, right? What is the past participle form of write?
Wrote.
My God. I'm gonna send you to what? To
I remember, Professor.
primary school. I'm gonna send you back to primary
Professor.
school.
No, I was thinking of something. I was thinking of when I was in high school.
Yeah, exactly. When you have to memorize that huge list of words, remember?
Yeah, and Professor.
So that is the
Juan,
past participle form.
Professor Juan said something like, "Okay, you have to memorize those that you like, and the other one is that you don't like, just leave it like that." And then it's always in my head like that.
Exactly.
Those are easy. The one that you like, you memorize. The other one that you hate.
So this is how you mark the status of the verb. All right. Now let's go to the progressive aspect. And this is something interesting. And then students and even professors make this mistake a lot. As we said before, progressive aspect refers to what? A continuing action, right? An action that is not completed. So how do we mark the progressive aspect? We use the auxiliary verb be plus the present participle form of the verb. So the present participle form of the verb is the verb that ends in the inflection ing. So when you say working, and you say, oh, the verb is in progressive, bam, that verb is not in progressive. That is the person. What is the status of that verb? Is present participle, like past participle. Past participle, you memorize the whole list, or you inflect it with ed. Present participle, you just add ing. All right. This might be new for many of you.
It is, in fact.
The present participle. Oh, it's right there. It says not every word ending in ing is a present participle. Because if I say it could be an adjective, you say she is amazing, because amaze is a verb. Oh, she amazed me. Oh, she's amazing. Amazing. Oh, amazing. Present participle. Bam. It's an adjective.
An adjective. Yeah.
Or you say running is good for your health. Running is a verb that is is a gerund that is functioning as a noun phrase. See? So the words that end inflect with ing are or present participles, adjectives, or gerunds. All right? Questions? No questions. Now we have conditional, perfective, and progressive. Now the combination. Now the status, we start having more, adding more things to the status of the verb. In the past, we said, remember that we had like present conditional, right? Or present indicative. Now we will add the perfective or the progressive aspect of the verb. Okay? Now, tense is shown in the first word of the main verb phrase. For example, if I say she should have gone. Think about it. She should have gone. Now, what is the status of that verb? Or like the song, it must have been love. Must have been. What is the status of that verb? You know it. The status is must have been. What is the tense?
Present conditional.
The tense must have been. Remember, you always look for the first word of the status. That word will tell you the
Past.
That's present.
past. So, no, it's past.
Past perfect.
Past perfect.
Conditional.
There you go. You see, induction.
But you say
It's
most.
past perfect conditional. Then the mood goes at the end now. I mean, we established the mood at the end. It's past perfect conditional. If I say, you should have been doing this more often. You should have been doing.
Professor, an advice. Why don't you write that sentence and you put like, this is the mood, this is the other, so we can take notes?
Well, I'm gonna read the book. It's in the book. Everything I'm saying is in the book.
Actually, I have it here right now. I have it here right now, but it's better to take notes.
No, the thing is, like, we will parse in a few, and this is easier when we start practicing. All right,
Okay.
don't feel overwhelmed. All right, this is easy. This is easy. Don't worry. So, as I said, tense is showing the first. Remember, go get the first word of that main verb phrase, and then you find yourself the verb, the tense right there in the first word. So the tense of main verbs. Every verb has 5 forms. This is something that not many people know either. The forms are in infinite, past, present, present participle, past participle. All right? And this is what we call the principal parts of the verb. So write is in the infinitive form, in the base form, but could also be in the present tense form. Write, like I write emails in the morning. In that case, it's not infinite. It is now. But if you say, "Oh, she writes," then it's easy to mark. You see, and that is the confusion that you guys can get. That you could confuse the infinitive with the infinite form, the finite form with the infinite form. All right. The rest are easy. It's in past. If it ends in ing, it's present participle. And you memorize the past participle forms. All right. Questions? No questions? No question. So when you analyze the main verb constituent, and I would add something. This is not in the book. I'm going to add this. The main verb phrase constituent, because we can confuse the verb phrase with the main verb phrase. Remember that we have VP functioning as predicate. That's why this is something that modern verb doesn't do, but I do. That now we're going to make a distinction between the VP from the MVP. All right, it's not the most valuable player. Now it's the main verb phrase. All right. So we always look for 2 things: the form, which is the principal parts. What are the principal parts? Remember?
Subject and
No. The principal parts of the verb. I just seconds ago I mentioned
infinitive, present tense, past
finite,
past participle,
past participle, present participle, and past, right? So you look for that, and then how those words combine together to create the status of the main verb. So again, I'm gonna change this here to create the status of the main verb phrase. Okay? Get it? Questions? No questions. So, what does the status of the main of the verb may contain? Always tense, always.
Professor, I have a question. Sorry, when you talk about verbs, you are talking mostly about regular verbs, or it could be?
No. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Regular and irregular verbs in general. Main verbs, I mean, main verb, remember, main verbs.
Okay, the main. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so they always have tense. And here it will depend on the author. So like, some authors like Morenberg tells you that the only thing that main verbs always have is tense. But if you change authors, you will see that also tense will always exhibit modality, which is indicative. The only thing, and the thing that grammarians always agree is that indicative is optional. We don't usually mark it. Okay? We don't say present indicative. We don't say past indicative. We don't. We say present. We say past. Okay? So, verbs always have tense. Verbs always have modality. They may or may not be perfective, has aspect, sorry. May or may not have aspect, okay? When do they show the aspect? When you say present progressive, that progressive is the aspect. When you say past perfect, that perfect is the aspect. But if I say I go home on weekends, there is no aspect. Got it? So those are the three things that we look for. And then here, so the main verb constituents occur in this order. We always show the tense, the modality, the perfect aspect, and the progressive aspect. And there are some examples in the book. That we typically don't mention the mood if it is indicative. So tense together with modality and aspect indicate the status of the verb, of the main verb. Questions? Questions? No questions. All right. That's it? That's it. Okay. Let's now start parsing. Okay. You see, Oliver, we will finish earlier today. Wow. Oh, there it is. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. School voucher soon. What is the type of verb? Verb type?
Like transitive.
Huh. Let me. Hold on. There you go. Why am I not?
That is a VG.
Here. Yeah, it's a VG. It's also that transitive. Okay, so the first thing that we identify is the
VG.
verb VG. Okay, what is this?
Article.
Article. What is this?
Adjective. Noun adjective.
This is a noun. Exactly.
No.
That is functioning as
Adjective.
yeah.
So we need to start adding the function right now.
Exactly.
Okay.
Legislature. What is it?
No.
It's a noun.
A noun. Sorry, I made a mistake here. Hold on. You see, what is the eraser? I know the eraser is somewhere. Huh.
It's the second item, Professor.
Oh, this one. Yeah. Thank you. There you go. What is might?
This,
What is
Conditional.
might?
Modal verb.
Might, the pure form of might. It is
Modal verb conditional.
it's a no, it's a modal.
Modal.
What is offer? This is easy. To identify the verb, eliminate everything, and you will get a sentence like the legislature offer parents vouchers. You see? Eliminate everything that I don't say because that might confuse you. All right? Okay? So offer is what?
VG.
It's a VG verb. It's also a ditransitive verb. We're gonna call it VG verb. What is parents?
Noun.
Exactly. No, it's a pure noun. What is school?
Noun too.
Noun. Vouchers?
It's a noun functioning as an adjective.
No, this is the one functioning as an adjective. And soon?
Adverb.
The pure adverb. Okay.
To be consistent, Professor, are you going to ask that or not? Or is
What do
that
you mean?
to the student? I mean, the function.
No. Here you have 5 points. Here you have 10 points. Okay. Okay. So we start parsing from right to left, right? So we have soon is an adverb of what?
Time. My goodness.
Shut up. School vouchers.
Noun phrase.
No.
School vouchers is a noun.
Object.
It's a noun phrase.
It's a noun phrase.
Functioning as a direct object. Parents.
That's a noun phrase.
Noun
It's
phrase.
an indirect object.
The indirect object. Might offer is the what?
Verb phrase.
The VP predicate. So far, so great, right?
You mean?
The same thing that we, shut up. The same thing that we have been doing, right? Okay, so now might. What is might? Might is what?
Modal.
Auxiliary. An offer is what? Yeah. But what is the form of offer? Remember? Offer is
present.
Is right after a modal auxiliary. The verb is in what form? Infinitive. Now you say this is infinitive. This is what we're going to be doing now. This is the only thing that we're adding. This infinitive. So we have auxiliary. This might is auxiliary. This one is infinitive. So now we will, the next thing that we will do is that we're going to write the MVP, the status. The status of the MVP is what? Is what?
Conditional present.
Yeah, present conditional.
Might is what?
Past
condition.
Past conditional.
Right, that's going to be very, very.
No, it's easy.
Challenging.
Past condition. MVP past conditional. Okay. You do it there in your computer. So write it down because I'm going to raise this because I don't want evidence of this. Right. I'm gonna leave no evidence. Only the video recording.
No problem.
All right.
Actually, we need that explanation to understand. Otherwise.
All right. Let's go to number 2. Student.
There isn't a noun phrase there in state legislature. No.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Very good. I missed the stupid points. How about that?
I was gonna say that.
So state legislature is a noun phrase. And then the state legislature is the noun phrase subject. Subject, because if we say that looks like sentence. Okay. So student is what? It's a noun functioning as
Adjective.
adjective. Senate.
That's a noun.
Noun. Denied.
So verb.
It is a verb.
Yeah.
But what type of verb? Let's analyze it. What type of verb is denied?
Transitive.
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 VI.
So you say denied what? Fundings.
Oh.
To the gay right institution. To the gay rights institution. Okay. So we have funding and we have a personal phrase here. If it is transitive, it means that I can passivize it, right? Funding
Was denied.
was denied
Yes,
to
that's
gay right institution. You could say that. You could say that.
transitive.
But it could also be a VG.
To me, it's a B.
Remember, when you have these 2 or 4, check it out, okay? Let's check it for VG. Can I say the student senate denied the gay right institution funding? Can I say that?
It sounds like incomplete.
No, it's totally grammatical.
Yeah.
Yeah, it follows the sequence, but
So it's VG. So this funding is what? What is funding?
No.
The direct object.
No, it's a noun.
No.
It's a noun.
Oh,
It's a noun.
no.
That's a preposition.
What is to? Preposition. The article. Gay.
That's a noun.
That is a noun
Functioning.
as
Adjective.
adjective. Rights. Rights.
That's a noun.
It's a noun
As an adjective.
functioning as an adjective. An organization is the noun. All right. The thing is, and here's the semantic force, because if you say that this is a transitive verb, you say it means that I can eliminate this, right? But to me, this is important because denied fonts still is too ambiguous. It's not the same that, oh, the Senate denied fonts, said that the Senate denied fonts to the gay right administration. This is something that we could debate, students. All right. Now it works for VG. It works for VG because I could say the Senate denied the organization funding.
And then, professor.
Yes.
If you say give, and then also makes sense.
And if I say give, exactly, it makes sense. So I say, no, he said that you could replace it and still make sense. So it behaves like, that's what Ariel is trying to say. So rights organization is what? It's a noun phrase. Gay rights organization is what? A noun phrase.
Noun phrase.
The gay rights organization is another noun phrase. If it is VG, so this is what? The indirect object. Something else, the organization is animate. So it looks like an indirect object.
Yeah.
And then funding, denied what? Denied. Oh gosh, hold on.
Yeah, now we are talking.
Denied. Oh shoot. Well, you know what it goes here, right?
Yeah.
Deny what? Funding. Funding is a noun phrase functioning as
direct object.
Direct object. So here you have a noun phrase functioning as indirect object. So denied is the verb phrase functioning as predicate. Denied. Now, what is denied? Denied is, now we have what? MVP, right? MVO. P status. What is the status of this verb? Easy.
Infinity.
Past indicative.
No,
Past.
define.
Past.
Past.
Or past indicative, but we don't mark it. Past
Oh my
indicative.
goodness.
The status is past. And then the student senate is a noun phrase.
Subject.
Subject. All right.
Professor,
Mhm.
the guys rights organization is an object proposition or no?
Very good. Very good observation. This is a VG. Listen. This is a VG. VG verbs do not exist. Okay? For our purposes, it is a VG because the idea here is that you start identifying constituents. If you're going to analyze this syntactically, I will say that this is a VC. Okay, that here I have a VC, there's a complex transitive, that this is a direct object, and this is the prepositional phrase functioning as object complement, completing the direct object. Get it?
Yes.
And that is the answer to your question, because you cannot deny that these two, we cannot just ignore it. That is the problem, that we cannot ignore that two and a noun phrase, they will attract like a magnet. Two plus noun phrase, prepositional phrase, I'm sorry, but here you have to write the prepositional phrase, and then you have a prepositional phrase. That prepositional phrase completes the direct object. So that means that you have yourself a complex transitive. All right? But we have VGs. Remember, we have VGs here just for a matter of illustration. All right?
So so that sentence can work as a VC, VG, and VT, because the VT
but
was
if
the
you
first
have
one
it,
that
if
we
you have
wrote.
it VT, if you say that it's a VT, you're saying that to the gay rights organization is not important, because if it's a VT, the only constituent that takes is the direct object, and that's it. So you would say the Senate denied funding.
All right,
See?
so it's better to disregard.
It is the same example that I gave, like, oh, Jairo is good. But if I say Jairo is good in English, I don't know, but to me, in English, it's important. Get it? So here again, we can debate this. And look for ambiguity if there is some.
I mean, but you explain something like complements and adjuncts. There are some really important complements.
Yeah, complements can never be eliminated. Exactly, and that very good, Jose. Very good. And that is the question, because if you say that it's a VT, to me this completes this. So that's why you say object complement.
It looks.
They complete funding. They complete the direct subject. All right. Okay. Now females are initiating dates now. So we say to get the verb, we say females initiate dates nowadays. What type of verb is this?
Big.
No. Look. Females initiate dates.
Okay.
Transitive.
Transitive verb. Females initiate what? Dates. And now it's okay. Females is a noun. This is be. Date is what? A noun. And nowadays is an adverb. Okay, so we have nowadays is an adverb of
time.
Dates initiate what? Dates. Dates is what? A noun phrase. Direct object. Then are initiating. What is are? Are is what? An auxiliary verb. Initiating. What is the form of initiating?
Present conditional?
No,
Present participle.
There you go. Present participle.
Progressive.
No. That is a mistake that I was telling you that we make.
Yeah.
And when you explain this, like, oh, the form is present progressive. No, to be, okay, I will tell you. This is an excellent example. Present participle. Initiating alone is a present participle. Imagine that it says participle here. So this is auxiliary verb, and alone is an auxiliary verb, and alone, this is a present participle. But when we have the MVP status, the status is marked by the combination of these two. Okay, now when we combine the auxiliary verb with the present participle form of the verb, we get the status, and the status is what?
Progressive.
But what is the status?
Present
Progressive.
There you go. Present
Progressive.
progressive. So present progressive is a status, Ariel, not a form, not a verb form.
So, Professor,
can you repeat that again, please?
Yes, please.
Sure. Are is the auxiliary verb, right? That is the function. It's functioning as an auxiliary verb. Initiating alone, the form, remember this. Hold on. And you might want to take pictures if you want to. For our purposes right now. Hold on. We want to take pictures of that. Those are the different forms, the tense form. Okay? And this is what you have to write there when the verb is alone. You see, it's in ing, it's present participle. Got it? But the combination, now the combination, let me see if I do something more interesting. Now the combination of the auxiliary verb and the present participle form of the verb makes the status, and the status is present progressive. So, but Ariel, what I'm trying to say is that initiating is not progressive. It could only be progressive if it is combined with the auxiliary verb.
yeah, Professor, a question. Yeah, so I see that you are putting like somehow in a order, like you are putting first the I don't know what is the first, and then you put in.
What do you mean?
Explain that. I mean,
like the first,
yeah,
the auxiliary verb, and then the modal status.
Yeah, that's what kind of.
Oh yeah. Here is the function, right? This is an auxiliary verb, and the form of the verb. Remember what I just showed you. This, you see, the form. This is the form of the verb alone. You see, it's not combined with anything else. To have present perfect, I have to have written, but I cannot say that this alone is perfect. This is a past participle form of the verb. Okay, this is the present participle form. Sorry, this is the present participle form of the verb. This is the past tense form of the verb. This is the present tense form of the verb, and this is the infinitive form of the verb or the base form. Got it? So you're writing this when it is alone. Now, when you combine it with the auxiliary, that combination gives you the status of the verb. See?
I don't get it.
Professor.
No?
Professor, I think that I need to read.
Oh, you do? But here's the clue.
I'm confused right now because I need to get the papers, and maybe it's my learning style that by this explanation, I won't be ready. So I really need to read.
Listen to this one. Offer is infinitive. How do I know it's infinitive?
Because of the
because it's a modal. There is a modal, and all they are always infinitive. Denied is in past. First, the verb is alone. You see, like offer. I show you the offer alone is infinitive. Here I'm showing you the verb denied is in past form. Here I'm showing you the verb initiating alone. So it's in what? Present participle. Got it? Now, when I combine the auxiliary with the infinitive form, I have now what? The past conditional, the status. When I combine this with this, I get the status of the verb, which is the status of the verb is present perfect. Present progressive. Okay, let's do this one, and I'll see what you will do that for me. Okay. Daycare College. What is first? What type of verb? What is the main verb here? The main verb. The main verb. Have. How do you know? Eliminate the rest. You say Daycare College has
chemistry.
A building, a chemistry building. Has what? A chemistry building. Have is a what? Is a
transitive.
Daycare College has what? A chemistry building. Daycare College is a what? A proper noun. Will is what? Will is no. Modal. Will is a modal.
Model.
Is a article. Splendid is what? Adjective. Chemistry. Noun. Adjective. Building is a noun. Next is a preposition. And here is a noun. Okay. So if we know that is a VT, well, we have to find the constituent. So VT only have noun phrase, right? Or you said, well, then if they only have noun phrase, this must be what? An adjunct. Next here is an adverb of time.
And then now phrase out there.
Professor, we cannot separate them.
What do you mean? Next year?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's noun phrase.
Here is a noun phrase. Stupid mistake. Noun phrase, object. I mean, I didn't make a mistake. I did this on purpose, you see? Object of preposition. Okay. Chemistry building. It's a noun phrase. Splendid chemistry building. It's a noun phrase. A splendid chemistry building. It's a noun phrase. Direct object. Will have is a VP, the verb phrase, predicate. What is will?
Modal.
We said here, it's an auxiliary.
Auxiliary, modal auxiliary.
What is have, the form?
Infinitive.
Now the status of the verb, which is a different thing. Then you write M, V, P, and now you write the status is what?
Present conditional.
Very good. It's present conditional.
What does it mean, that MVP, Professor?
Main verb phrase. The thing is, like, modern verb leaves it like verb phrase status, but you can confuse verb phrase with this verb phrase. The verb phrase includes the verb and all the rest. But MVP includes only the main verb. The main verb is have with whatever is helping them.
Yeah.
Okay? Daycare College is noun phrase, subject. Okay, listen, let's do something. I will, everybody write that sentence down, and you do it with your pencils, because to me it's difficult. I'll just mark the lines, all right? Because to me it's very difficult. So Springfield. Write the sentence. Springfield would have built a police station. Write it down.
Noun.
Okay. Springfield. What is Springfield?
Noun.
Proper noun. This is prop noun. Would. What is would?
Modal
A modal. Have is what?
The verb infinitive.
Have is another modal.
Okay. And build is the verb.
The auxiliary profession.
Yeah, but anyway, modal, right? Build. Build is what?
The main verb.
But what type of verb?
Transitive could be because what is a police?
Transitive. Build what? A police station. A is what?
Article.
Article. Police.
Noun.
A noun.
A noun.
Functioning as an adjective.
Functioning as an adjective. Station.
A noun.
With.
That's a preposition.
The.
Article.
Federal.
That's
noun. Working as an adjective.
Adjective.
No, that's an adjective. For sure.
Pure adjective.
Oh, all right.
And grant.
That's a noun.
Noun. Okay. So we have federal grant is what? Noun phrase. The federal grant, noun phrase. With the federal grant is a prepositional phrase functioning as
Adverb.
Complement.
Adverb of instrument. With what? Adverb of instrument. If you have something better, let me know. Then we have police station is what? Noun phrase. A police station is what?
Noun phrase cited object.
Noun phrase direct object. Would have built. Oh, geez. Sorry, let me erase it. This is too bad. Hold on. I think I don't have. Oh, I know what. Okay. Now it's better. Would have built.
Verb phrase.
BP predicate. Now here. What is would? Would is what? Auxiliary. Have. What is have?
Auxiliary.
Auxiliary. So you have auxiliary, and build. What is the form? The verb form. Build.
Infinite.
Past participle.
Participle.
Is that
infinite?
Infinitive.
Infinitive. I'm sorry.
Oh
Because
yes.
it's right after modals. Infinitive.
yes?
So it's infinitive. So now we have the main verb, the MVP. The MVP. The first that we mark is what?
Tense.
The tense. What is the tense? The tense, you get the tense here, the first word. What is it? Past.
Perfect. Perfect.
Past perfect.
Condition.
Conditional. Got it? And then here, the noun phrase subject. All right? All right?
Professor, excuse me, would you say it again? Would and have and built.
Okay. Would is an auxiliary. Have is a modal auxiliary. Build is in the infinitive form because always, as a rule, always, when a verb is preceded by a modal auxiliary, this verb is in the infinitive form. Now, when I combine this with this with this, I create the status of the main verb. And the status of the main verb, now I have to see how these three combine. And it's past, perfect, conditional because of the would.
Professor, a question there.
Yes.
What I think that it is a little bit confused because that's an irregular verb. What happened would be like regular verb, then it is in past tense. past participle.
The same thing. It is the same thing.
The same.
You need to know how to construct this. Okay, Springer would have what? Give me a regular
Done.
verb.
Done, I don't know.
Done is irregular. Destroyed. Springfield would have destroyed the police station. Would have destroyed, right? So destroyed is the past participle form of this, because you see, have plus destroyed, you immediately know that destroyed is a past participle form, because you know that rule since you were in high school, or at least in the VA. So you wouldn't be here, right? Okay, the Navy can finance your college education. Let's eliminate everything. The Navy finances your college education. So what type of verb is this? What type of verb is, what is the verb? What is the main verb?
Finance.
Finance is the main verb, right?
Could be transitive.
It is transitive.
Because can finance what?
Finance what? Education. So D is what? The article, Navy.
Noun.
I would say proper noun.
Proper.
So the Navy is the Navy. Can.
Auxiliary.
No.
Modal.
Can is modal. Your.
Possessive.
There is some noise there. There is some noise. It's a possessive adjective. College.
Noun.
It's a noun.
Adjective noun.
Education.
Noun adjective.
Noun and the noun.
Education. Noun. So then we have college education is what? Noun phrase.
A noun phrase.
College education is what? Noun phrase? Direct object. Then can finance. Thank you. Can finance is what? Can is what? Can is? Can is an auxiliary. Finance is?
Verb. Okay.
The form. There are 5 forms. Infinitive. Now, when we combine this with this, the auxiliary, when the infinitive form, now we have the MVP. The status. The status of the main verb phrase is what?
Conditional.
The tense is here. The tense.
Present conditional.
Present conditional. Very good.
Yeah, now we're getting.
Yeah, exactly. We're getting.
The Navy is now phrase. It's about practice, people. It takes practice. Okay, Edna Buchanan has set her novels in South Florida. All right. So we eliminate everything. We say Edna Buchanan sets her novels in South Florida. What is the main verb?
Set.
Set, right? So this is a what?
Could be transitive.
Transitive?
It's transitive. It is transitive. This is the first thing that you have to do. Okay, Edna Buchanan is what?
Proper noun.
Proper noun. No, I'm sorry. Jesus.
As the model.
I did this on purpose. No one of you noticed.
Come on.
See, you guys have to focus. This is it. The verb. Sets. Okay? Transitive. So Edna Buchanan is a proper noun. Has is what?
Modal.
Modal auxiliary.
Auxiliary.
Morenberg, you will see that Morenberg checks this as have. But it is still a modal auxiliary, right? Her.
Possessive.
It's a possessive what?
Pronoun.
No. Possessive adjective. Novels.
Noun.
A noun.
In.
Preposition.
South.
Noun adjective. Functioning.
Adjective.
South is a pure. South is a pure adjective here, and Florida.
Noun.
Proper noun.
Okay.
So we have South Florida. Wow, perfect. You see.
Phrase.
In South Florida, prepositional phrase.
Adverb.
Adverb of
Place.
Says what? Her novels. Her novels is what? Noun phrase.
Direct object.
Direct object. So has said. This is what has is what?
Predicate.
Has is what?
Auxiliary.
Auxiliary. And what is the form of this verb? Is
infinite.
That's what that one my question.
You know it. You
That's
teach this.
participle.
You teach this. You teach. Was what?
Participle.
Past.
It's past participle. It's the past participle form of this verb. You see, past participle form. That's why I said, what is the form? Past participle form of the verb. Now, when we combine this auxiliary with the past participle form of the verb, we get the main verb status. What is the main verb for the MVP status? Is what?
Present perfect.
Perfect.
Present
Negative.
perfect. Present perfect.
Professor, my question is, in order to have the verb set as an infinitive and to have a modal auxiliary before
Present.
house like
Oh no, if you say Edna Buchanan said her novels, that one is past. It's past because if it would be present, it would have been present. It would say Edna Buchanan sets. Basic grammar here. All right. Number 8. Winston Churchill was a complicated giant on the world stage. What is the verb?
Be.
Be. So we mark B because Morenberg does it like this. Winston Churchill.
Proper noun.
That's a
Proper noun. A.
Article.
What type?
What do you mean?
That's
I was thinking of determinate. I have not explained that. Sorry.
You
Complicated.
did it on purpose.
Yeah. I did it on purpose. Complicated.
Adjective.
Yes, complicated is a pure adjective that you can confuse complicated also with a past participle form of the verb complicate, right? But in this case, you know immediately that it's an adjective. Giant. Noun. On.
Preposition.
The.
article.
What type of article?
Definite.
World.
Is a noun.
Noun phrase. Noun.
Noun
Function as an adjective.
Adjective. Stage.
Noun.
The noun. So we have word stage, noun phrase, the word stage, noun phrase,
Object.
functioning as
Object.
object of preposition. On the word stage, we have prepositional phrase functioning as
Adverb.
adverb, place, complicated giant. It's a noun phrase. A complicated giant is a noun phrase functioning as
Predicate noun.
predicate noun. You could even say subject complement. Some authors call it subject complement or predicate noun. Subject complement because it completes the subject. Okay, predicate noun to be consistent. So was a complicated giant on the is a what? VP, predicate, and what is the status of this verb?
Past tense.
Past. Very simple. You say then you write here MVP past. All right. Okay.
In there, giant is not a noun phrase. No.
Yeah, complicated giant.
No. I mean giants.
No, we don't mark it. We don't mark it like that. I mean, it is giant alone is a noun phrase. You say you want to do this, yeah, but no, don't do it. Okay. We usually omit it, but you're right. Giant is a noun phrase alone. Okay. Franklin Roosevelt had understood the Nazi threat before the World War II. Okay. So what is the main verb here?
Understood.
Understood because you say Franklin Roosevelt understands the Nazi threat before the World War II. So understand is what type of verb? Understood? It's a what? A VT, right? Understood what? The threat. The threat. Okay. So Franklin Roosevelt is what?
Proper noun.
Proper noun. Had.
Modal.
It's a modal, but Morenberg marked it like have.
The same case.
Understood. Understood is a VT. D.
Article.
Article. What type of article?
Definite.
Definite article. Nazi.
That's a noun.
That's a noun. That's a noun.
Well,
Functioning as an
we can-
adjective.
yeah.
Threat.
It's a noun.
Noun. Before.
Preposition.
Preposition.
World War II.
Proper noun.
It's a proper noun.
Proper noun.
So we have World War II is a noun phrase. Functioning as
Object of preposition.
object of the preposition. Before the World War II is a prepositional phrase functioning as
Adverb of time.
yeah, adverb of time. I will go.
Yeah.
Nazi threat.
That is a noun phrase.
Noun phrase. The Nazi threat.
That's a noun phrase. That's a DO.
Noun phrase direct object. And then had understood the Nazi threat before is what? VP? Predicate. Okay, what is have here? What is have?
Auxiliary.
It's an auxiliary, right? And what is understood? What is understood?
That is past.
Past
Participle.
participle because of this.
All right.
This is a
Okay.
past participle.
All
And the
right.
combination of these two make the MVP status. The MVP status is what?
Past perfect.
Past perfect. You don't have to say indicative. You could. Past perfect. Past perfect. And this is MP subject. Finally, last one for today. Okay. Elvis may be history's biggest star. Okay. So what is the main verb in this sentence?
Be.
Be.
It is what?
Be.
Be. Very good. Very good. Because I can say Elvis is history's biggest star. So Elvis is what? Elvis is
Proper noun. Proper noun.
Exactly. May
It's a model.
model be
Be.
the main verb is a VL, but modern verb says that be
Be.
is be. Histories is a possessive noun.
Possessive noun.
Possessive noun. Biggest
That's adjective.
adjective. Star
Noun.
noun. So we have biggest star makes what? Noun phrase.
Noun phrase.
History's biggest star make what?
No.
Noun phrase functioning as
Predicate noun.
predicate noun or subject complement. The way you want to write it. Predicate noun. Predicate noun.
To be consistent.
Then exactly. Hold on.
Yeah, maybe.
B. Oh, this VP predicate. So what is the status of this verb? Oh, shoot.
Wait.
I'm perfect. You guys are not concentrated. You need to concentrate. All right, focus.
Right.
So what is May? May
That's an
is what?
auxiliary.
Auxiliary, and B.
That's
Infinitive.
That's the infinitive form of that word.
And the combination of the auxiliary with the infinitive form, you got the MVP. The MVP is what?
Present conditional.
Present conditional. Very good. And that's it, guys.
Professor, I'm a little confused about how to recognize the infinitive verbs.
Oh, it's easy. But for that, first you need to go ahead and refresh your grammar books from the VA.
Okay.
Starting there. Infinitive, you always have infinitive, for example, after modal verb. Whenever you have a modal verb, the verb is infinitive. You see?
Okay.
And that's how you recognize infinitive phrase.
Thank you.
All right. Question? No, but listen. Sorry, but that was a super valid question because some people are teaching this and they are fresh. That's why I say you have to refresh.
Yeah.
Believe me, if I haven't taught phonetics in years. If I have to teach phonetics again, believe me, I have to refresh myself. You see?
Can you scroll up the mouse, Professor, so I can take some pictures of the line?
No, hell no.
No, I'm talking seriously, Professor.
All right.
But are you submitting this right now or
submitting what?
The practice.
The exercise. No. Yes, I am right now.
Continue.
Yes, I am together with the material.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay, guys. Questions?
Yeah, continue spreading up.
All right, I can do that.
I'm taking pictures, Professor. Thank you.
Okay.
Continue.
Este. Just
thank you.
No, just take it for granted from now on. It's 50 sentences every week, right?
The 25.
But it's worth it. It's worth it, people. It's worth it. It is worth it. Okay.
And even for the test.
Oh, the test is going to be not this coming class, the other class.
And then
The first day it will include only onto chapter 4.
And do we have to submit the 50 ones, the new ones?
Oh, you do, of course, always, all the time.
My
No, but the good thing is like,
you have
listen, if you practice the next exercise, which is exercise 4, if you practice exercise 4, you are refreshing all this. You see that now what we do is we include more things.
Professor, in the exercise, you are going to include till chapter 4.
In the test or in the exercise. We have a semantic problem
test.
there. The thing you see, that is a transfer problem because we say ejercicio, and then we think that exercise is test. In the test, if I want to what?
You're going to read on to chapter 4.
On to chapter 4, the first test.
The first one.
Professor.
So it's going to be in 15 days.
That is right. That is correct.
In 15 days.
Questions?
My God, we got a blend of
Yeah, Professor.